What's up, people? It's the TheAireaidLord, and this is Fan Mail Episode 8. At the end of each month, I answer fan questions that people send me either on the PlayStation 3 or the Xbox 360. It actually worked out good because if you've been following my channel, my Xbox 360 broke about a week ago, and it was a good thing that I didn't have to do fan mail on it for this month because I wouldn't have had the ability to do that unless I used one of my brother's consoles or something just to make it happen. But fortunately, we don't have to do that. It's on the it's on the PlayStation 3. I almost said it was on the 360. What the hell? It's on the PlayStation 3, and I'm going to be answering the questions. I actually got a lot of questions for this, so thank you for everyone who sent them to me. And the way this works, again, each month I switch off. So next month, the end of September, will be on the Xbox 360, so then you can send your questions to the 360 and I'll answer them. So last month, I believe I said it was episode 6, but it wasn't. It was episode 7. I had the numbers mixed up for whatever reason. So, okay, let's jump into the questions received. And the friend request, just so you know, PlayStation does not force you to delete your messages, unlike on 360 where they give you like a 40 to 30 day window to actually delete a message. So as you can see, a lot of these friend requests are indeed from way earlier in the year. So let's go. Alright, so our first question is right here from TheAireaidLord2462, and he says, "Hey man, I'm a huge fan of your vids. Keep up the good work. I just have 2 questions for you. Are you up to the challenge to defeat DSP or Miles923/Maximilian Dude on Street Fighter Cross Tekken? And his second question is, are you going to get Resident Evil 6 or Borderlands 2? Well, the first question, I've said probably a couple of times at least that I do not play Street Fighter or any game related to Street Fighter. I never will. I believe in 2010, a friend of mine actually brought a copy of Street Fighter 4 to my house, and they're like, oh, you said that guy DSP was playing it, why don't you try it? And I ended up trying it, but I just never got into it. The game just never was something that I enjoyed, so I ended up passing it up as a game, and I just never got into it. So Street Fighter, I have no history with Street Fighter, so am I up to the challenge? No, because I don't think I'd be able to beat either one of those guys. DSP I know. I don't know who Maximilian Dude is, and Street Fighter Cross Tekken, never played that game in my life, so no, I am not up to the challenge. And are you getting Resident Evil I almost said Raccoon City. Are you getting Resident Evil 6 and Borderlands 2? Borderlands 2 is confirmed. I'm doing it a co-op session with John and Phil, John Rambo and Darkside Phil. We're trying to get one more person for that. We're not sure who it's going to be. Resident Evil 6, I'm not sure. I might do co-op with them as well if they don't need anybody. They might fill up actually, but we'll see. As long as I have people to play it with, then I'll do it, because I'm not really the largest fan of Resident Evil. I didn't play 5. My first Resident Evil game, if you can believe it, was Raccoon City a couple of months ago, which I'm sure people are going to be disappointed, like, oh, Raccoon City sucks, and you should play Resident Evil 4. That was the best Resident Evil game. So there are just some games I just haven't played, unfortunately. So all right. So thank you for that question. Another question from Outsider: are you going to be in future Project 7 episodes? I would say ask Phil about this, because if you don't know what he's talking about, Project 7 is a web series that my friend Phil created back in 2010. He did not touch it for about 2 years, and then recently he's been pumping out episodes. And Project 7 is his web series, which he has recently started doing, where the premise is he gets his gaming powers stolen by some guy that doesn't like him, and he has to find them along with his friends. Recently, in the past couple of months, he told me that he wanted me to be an actor on the series. They're currently preparing for episode 5, which is scheduled to be a Halloween-related episode. Now, I have no idea when we're doing any filming for this, because keep in mind, we all have to schedule our times so that we all are in the same general area so that we can film. So we'd all have to go to Connecticut, sit down, do the acting, do it all in one day, and then pump out, have Respect the Pact, do all the editing for that, which usually takes a couple of weeks. So I'm not exactly sure. I haven't been in a Project 7 episode yet, so it's kind of hard for me to say if I'm going to be in all of the future episodes. I know for sure episode 5 I'm going to be in it, but I don't really know how Phil wants to tackle the whole filming process for it when I'm in it. So if I didn't really answer your question, I'd say the best way to figure out the answer to this is to ask Phil, because it's his web series. So go to Darkside Phil's main page, which is DSP Gaming. Yes, DSP Gaming. Go to that page, and you can send him... I think he has his own fan mail kind of series, his own little viewer mail thing where he answers questions. So just send him a question in there and ask this question, and I'm sure he'll answer it at some point. So that's all I can offer you. I'm not quite sure. I do have to talk to him more about the whole Project 7 thing, but I had originally said that I was going to be doing filming for it over the summer, but we all had really, really hectic schedules, and Respect the Pact, who does all the filming, actually wanted the summer off. So that actually did not end up working out. So we're planning on doing episode 5 filming in September or October, and then we're also planning episode 6 to be a Christmas-related special, which, again, I don't know if I'm going to be in it, but that's what I've talked about thus far with them. So, okay. Ooh, it's PlayStation 3's birthday, and yeah, they're giving us free stuff. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. That's just spam. Spam mail. Not fan mail, spam mail. This guy's name is Snap Crackle Boom, and his question is, what video game would you like to see turned into a movie? That's tough, because there are a lot of video games that I enjoy. Primarily, I've said my favorite video game of all time is the Jak and Daxter series. I think turning that into a movie would be pretty hard, but pretty cool if it was able to be pulled off. Ratchet and Clank as well. That would be pretty cool to see all the high-tech guns and stuff. See that in the theaters. That'd be pretty cool. I don't know. I know there was something else. Maybe Destroy All Humans. The first Destroy All Humans I really liked. I actually did a playthrough of it a couple of weeks ago, and it has a good cinematic feel to it. Maybe that would be a good movie. So those are some ideas. I'm looking at my rack of games right now. Maybe I can try to rattle one off right now. I want to say Halo, but I know that there have been talks about that, but it just has never happened, because apparently there were rumors a couple of years ago that Peter Jackson was going to make the next Halo, or not the next Halo film, the Halo film. He would be the director for the Halo movie, but it didn't happen. I also heard rumors that there was going to be a Gears of War movie, which that didn't happen either, so maybe it's going to happen, I don't know. I always hear these rumors that movies are going to be made out of these popular franchises, but it never happens. So, friend request. All right, John Cena 2546 says, "What collection do you like more, Ratchet and Clank or Jak and Daxter, and why?" With 3 question marks. A question like this really boils down to what kind of sorry, I'm up in the brightness, but a question like this kind of boils down to what game series I like more, Jak and Daxter or Ratchet and Clank. It is true, I have completed both HD collections, both Jak and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank. I played these games 10 years ago when they first came out on the PlayStation 2. They were my favorite games growing up. And a couple of months ago, you can find these playthroughs on YouTube. I did them. People really seem to like them. They're some of my most popular videos on my channel, what a lot of people seem to like. And, I always had this argument, especially with my friend Alex. We always had this argument back when I lived in New Jersey, which game series was better, because these game series came out at the same time. Insomniac and Naughty Dog actually shared technology, and that's why in Ratchet and Clank you see pictures of Jak and Daxter, and Jak and Daxter you see pictures of Ratchet and Clank, because they promote each other. They're really good friends. Insomniac and Naughty Dog are good friends. They've done collaborations and talked about technology to use in future things, and they've really it's cool, because it's cool to see 2 of my favorite game franchises kind of intertwined like that. And I think I'm going to say I like Jak and Daxter more, only because it has a better story than Ratchet and Clank. Now, I'm not saying Ratchet and Clank doesn't have a good story, but Jak and Daxter, I really like the twist with the thing, like how you, in the second game, this is a spoiler, but in the second game, how you go into the future, and you find out Jack's true origins, Jack's true father, how Sandover Village and that whole area kind of got turned into Haven City with the metalheads. It's really cool. It's cool how all of this time travel stuff and all these concepts kind of come together. From a storytelling aspect, me being a creative writer, I really respect Naughty Dog's storytelling abilities in Jak and Daxter. Ratchet and Clank had good storytelling abilities, but I prefer Jak and Daxter's more than Ratchet and Clank, because Ratchet and Clank seemed to be linear, kind of going from planet to planet. The only thing that was kind of the same throughout all three games was the story of Captain Quark, how in the first game he was defeated, the second game he tried to redeem himself and was still defeated, and then the third game he kind of came to terms and tried to fight off the new villain. So that was kind of cool, but in terms of the story, I did like Jak and Daxter more. And the gameplay is similar. Like, Ratchet and Clank and Jak and Daxter both have platforming gameplay. The guns are different. Ratchet and Clank is all about more like blowing stuff up, destruction-oriented, where Jak and Daxter is mainly focused on the platforming and using your new powers to manipulate the platforming in your area. But I like the gameplay evenly, but again, since I'm at an impasse with the two games, the story is what pushes it over the edge, and thus I like Jak and Daxter more than Ratchet and Clank. So, again, it's not that I hate either one of these game series. They're both phenomenal game series, two of my favorites of all time, but if I was to have to pick one, I'd have to go with Jak and Daxter, just because they've been with me longer, and they have just phenomenal gameplay. I mean, if anyone has not played Jak and Daxter series, I would highly, highly suggest it. The NASCAR Fan 241 says, what kind of sports do you watch? This is kind of a weird question because, well, it's not that it's a weird question, but it's kind of weird for me to answer it because I'm not really big on watching sports. Like, I'm not the type of person who will turn on the TV and want to see the score of the Jets game or the Patriots game or the Celtics game. I'm not that kind of person who wants to avidly keep up on different sports, things that are running, whether it be hockey, baseball, basketball, football, whatever it may be. I'm not that type of person who is into that kind of stuff. Now, I do attend, like Red Sox games. I'm a fan of the Red Sox in terms of baseball. I do go to Red Sox games with friends and family every once in a while. Not really big into, football I do watch occasionally during the football season. It's good to, on a Sunday afternoon to kind of watch those games. The Super Bowl, every year I do something special for the Super Bowl with friends. We have, big parties with chips and stuff, but I don't do that. I just do that for a gathering. I don't do that for football. I don't really care who wins in football. I mean, the only time I think I cared who won in football was this season, actually, the previous season, where the Patriots faced the Giants, and it was kind of the redemption game, because if you remember, I believe 4 years ago, they had faced the Giants after going 18, they had 18 straight wins, and then they lost, and it was a big upset, because everyone was like, oh, they're going to go 19-0, and they ended up losing, and the Giants won the Super Bowl, and it was a complete, utter fucking train wreck, and it sucked, and it was just horrible, and once again, they lost to the Giants, so it was disappointing. So that was the only time I think I was really into a football game. But sports have never been my thing. When I was young, I did play different types of sports. Like I played t-ball, like little kids baseball. I did swimming and basketball and soccer. I did do those sports, but as I got older and as those sports kind of demanded more of my time, I kind of realized that they weren't exactly the right thing for me, and I kind of was like, I kind of want to do this, I kind of don't, and it didn't really have an impact on me to the point where I wanted to do it more. So that's my history with sports for you. I just named off some teams, so hopefully I answered your question to some capacity. Alright, so thanks for that message. Okay. Frankie Scalera 1. This guy sends in questions a lot, so it's good. I like that. He says, have you heard of a YouTube commentator known as Chris Smoove? If so, how did you first discover him? What do you think of him? I do know who Chris Smoove is, just because I do keep up on some of the machinima-related stuff on YouTube. Chris Smoove is another one of these typical YouTube commentators who does Call of Duty gameplays and montages and stuff like that. And that's Chris Smoove, I guess. I mean, he does Call of Duty videos. I don't really watch his content. Like, the first video of his I came across was the video where he was in a lobby that was modded so that everyone had infinite ammo. So you see these guys in Modern Warfare 2 shooting grenade launchers nonstop, and it was kind of funny to watch. Everyone was things were flying all over the place, and he was chuckling to himself. Everything, like there was an AC-130 with infinite ammo, and the map was rumbling, and I thought it was kind of funny. That was a funny video, but other than that, I don't stay up on his content, and it's hard for me to stay up on anyone's content, really, because I find myself doing more stuff nowadays. I mean, I'll be honest, a couple of years ago I stayed up on Phil's content, but now that I'm busy, I don't really watch his videos nowadays. It's hard. I have stuff going on, and I can't really devote that kind of time to watching full playthroughs and stuff like that. So yes, I've heard of Chris Smoove, but not really keeping up on his stuff. So Boo, how do I say this guy's name? Booyaka91? Booyaka91? Will you ever do your own fan what? I've already done a fan appreciation week. I just did one last week. I did one for GTA 4, and back in December 2011 I did one for Modern Warfare 3. So I've done 2 so far, so if you have any suggestions, maybe you could give me them, but I have done one before, just to let you know. Okay, so let's go up here. Devil A147. He says, "Sup dude, I was thinking about making my own gaming videos for YouTube, and I was wondering if you could tell me what equipment I needed." Well, it really depends what kind of videos you want to make. Do you want to make Call of Duty and Halo montages? Because in that case, you would probably need an HD PVR, which is direct capture of gameplay content from your 360 or PS3 to a card that then gets transported to your computer, which you can then use as a raw file, which you would have to put in a video editor so then you can polish up and then put on YouTube for people's viewing pleasures. What I do, obviously, is totally different. I use a camera, an HD camera, which takes footage, and I'm able to use this camera to do large playthroughs. So, for instance, this week I was doing a playthrough of Infamous and Infamous 2, and those videos totaled at 90 parts. And for someone using it in HD PVR, that's going to be a lot of work to offload the commentary and the videos and have to edit every single video. That would take a lot of time. With my camera, I'm able to offload all of the footage that I've taken from that day and upload that footage. So the footage that yesterday I played Infamous 2. I took like 15 videos and I put them in my little USB drive thing here, put it into my computer, and then uploaded the files individually from YouTube's page. All those videos that you saw were taken on that day. There are some people who will film a video, and then a month later they'll add the commentary to a video they already did and then upload it. That's not what I do. I do everything live. Like right now I can wave my hand in front of the camera. You know that's live. So everything's happening right now. I have to be on top of my game. I have to be able to have good speaking skills so I can talk to you guys about things that are going on. And I've gotten really accustomed to it, doing this for almost 2 years now. But it takes practice. If you're going to do what I do, where you point a camera at your TV, you're going to have to make sure that you have good quality TV, because sometimes I know this TV has brightness issues sometimes. You also have to make sure that you have a good camera or camcorder. I would actually suggest getting a camera, because depending which type of camera, like I use a Sony camera, and the files on the Sony camera are small enough so that YouTube doesn't crash when I put them up. So it's all in the camera and the TV and those type of accessories if you're going to be doing what I do. So if you were to consider doing what I do with the live kind of stuff, you would probably need a good quality camera, a couple of memory cards, a power source, a good quality TV, a computer with good internet access, and a little USB drive thing that can take them off and put them on your computer. So you would need a couple of different things. So that is in a nutshell, what you would need for starting up on YouTube for a camera. Now, I know I just said if you wanted to do Halo and Call of Duty stuff, you would need an HD PVR, but it's probably not a good idea to ask me how to do that because I've never used that device before. You know, people in the past have said, oh, why don't you get an HD PVR so your quality looks better? Again, it's a lot of time. I just explained how I took 20 Infamous videos yesterday, and think about how long it would take me to have to individually process each video. It would take a long time. Now, I know there are programs like Fraps and other programs that can take shorter periods of time where you can do live streaming. I'm fully aware of that. But this system has worked for me. This is a system that I've been doing for almost 2 years now. It works for me. The quality on my videos, in my opinion, is really, really good. And some people have even commented and said, wow, I didn't even realize you were using a camera. You have really good quality. So I just keep doing what I'm doing. It's simple, it works for me, and I don't have any problems with it. So that's my take on it. I know people would have different opinions, and I know there are lots of guides and tutorials on YouTube on how to set up HD PVRs. So if you're looking for HD PVR stuff, probably I would suggest looking elsewhere. Maybe, I think Phil's friend Howard does HD PVR stuff, so maybe you could send him a message. But yeah, that's basically in a nutshell what you would need for YouTube to start up. Alright? Cool. Cool stuff. Ooh, Corachado. Corachado is a friend of mine who I met, I think a year ago. Holy shit, it was a year ago. We did a Resurrection map pack, the zombie stuff. That was the first time I played with him. He's one of Phil's friends from 2006, and I've got to know him over the years. He's a really, really nice guy. Good commentary, kind of funny. And he says, how's the game going? And I think he's referring to Infamous. And he says, by the way, did you get a Machinima newsletter? I need someone to forward it to me. I did get a Machinima newsletter, Corachado. I will forward it to you. Just send me a PM on YouTube with your email address, and I'll send you that newsletter. So yeah, that's Corachado's question. Oh, this is another question from this guy. Any chance of a fan appreciation of your own? Why do people keep asking this? I've already done a fan appreciation, guys. I did. Just a week ago, I did GTA 4 Achievement Hunting Week, where I had 2 fans join my friends to play and get achievements in GTA 4. So, I've done that, and then I did Modern Warfare 3 in December. So I have done fan appreciation. The videos are on my channel. I'm not lying. They're there. They're there. And his next question is, are you a NASCAR fan? I am not a NASCAR fan. My little brother used to be, but he's not anymore. Are you a Transformers fan? No, I am not. That's why I did not purchase Fall of Cybertron, because Transformers is just not up my alley. I'm more of a Power Rangers kind of guy. When I was growing up, I watched Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the old 90s TV show, which was kind of funny and weird at the same time, but it was good memories of watching that in New Jersey. But no, I do not like Transformers, and I do not support the shitty Michael Bay movies that have been coming out subsequently over the years. And what's your favorite DSP playthrough? Oh, well, again, like I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, it's hard for me to watch his content nowadays because I'm so busy. Also, I've become one of his friends over the 2 years that I've been doing this. We've really got to know each other to a different level than other people. I talk to him outside. Like, people, this is the thing, people don't realize this on YouTube, but I'm very good friends with Darkside Phil, okay? I talk to him over my cell phone right here, which is a really shitty cell phone, which I don't even know why I just showed it. It's a piece of shit, but I talk to him on that thing, and, you know, when we go to gaming conventions, we'll meet up, and we'll try to figure out our plans, and it usually works, but I sometimes am chastised for being like a stalker or being into his stuff when I shouldn't be, which is not true at all, because he's said multiple times that we're friends and that we have done multiple game playthroughs co-op together, and I don't know why people think that. I think people just either get jealous or they just get angry for whatever reason. I don't know. I can't stop that. I can't stop you from being angry, I guess. So there's really no way I'm going to stop that. But I think when I was watching his content, you know, those years ago when I wasn't doing YouTube and I was watching some of his videos, my favorite playthrough would have to be Fallout 3, because he was, you know, he did admit to me that he was drunk playing Fallout 3, getting angry, dying 100 times, and I remember cracking up. I mean, that's how I found his videos in the first place. I first found him through a Fallout 3 video where he kept blowing himself up on the last level in Project Purity. So those were great times, but you know, he's kind of moved on from playing games drunk. So yeah, that's that. The Deadeye Wolf 67 says, "What is your favorite game and most what is your favorite game and disappointing game so far in 2012?" Sorry, I read that wrong. So far, my favorite game of 2012 is a tie between Mass Effect 3 and Max Payne 3. I'm going to exclude the Ratchet & Clank and Jak and Daxter HD collections because those games already came out 10 years ago. They're just HD versions of a game. Mass Effect 3, I had never played the previous Mass Effects, and the game itself blew me away. Just what was offered, the gameplay, the addictive side missions, it was all very, very fun to play. And it was one of my favorite playthroughs so far of this year, and I highly suggest people watch that playthrough. I have like 95 videos of it up on my channel. The most disappointing game of this year, either Syndicate or... what was that other game? There was one other game. Was it? There was one other game. I don't know. I forget. But Syndicate is the game that comes to mind. Because Syndicate was this first-person shooter that people were hyping up to be this new IP that was going to be good. And it ended up being a worthless pile of donkey shit. And it had lighting problems, gameplay problems, game bugs, audio problems, freaking horrible designed levels, worthless story. The game just sucked overall. And I just was having no fun playing it, and yeah, it was a piece of shit. So Syndicate's the worst game of 2012 thus far, and my favorite game of 2012 thus far is Mass Effect 3. And that is obviously subject to change because we're just getting into the hardcore gaming season where I'm going to be playing lots of different games. And the Deadeye Wolf also asks, what are your top 5 Did I really say Arch? RPG games. That's what I meant to say. Sorry, I'm 27 minutes in and I'm losing it already. I'm not really a big fan of RPGs. Never was. I never grew up playing Final Fantasy like some of my friends were. But the RPGs that I have played, like Fallout 3, for example, is one of my favorite RPGs, just because it's science fiction mixed with this open world kind of aspect. Also, the Elder Scrolls series, Oblivion and Skyrim, Fallout New Vegas. Never really got into games like Fable. And again, as I just mentioned in the previous question, Mass Effect 3 for an RPG really blew me away in what was offered. So, never was really a big RPG fan, but in what I just said, those are my top RPGs. Alright, we're just going to make it. And the final question from Black Spidey 1010 says, not nagging, just asking, do you want to do a Little Big Planet sometime? A Little Big Planet sometime. Does he mean playthrough? Well, I just did a PlayStation 3 exclusives week, but it was kind of hard to fit multiple games in because Infamous 1 and 2 kind of took a long time. So, maybe if there's time in the future, I'll do Little Big Planet. I don't know. I've seen gameplay of it, and I did see gameplay of it when it first came out. It doesn't look like a game that would necessarily be good for my style, but hey, maybe one day I can rent it for a couple of bucks. I'll play it, and we'll see what happens. But that's that. So, on that note, I guess we can say thank you. Thank you for all the questions that you guys sent me. This has been a really good fan mail, considering it went in 28 freaking minutes, and my camera's about to run out of memory in a couple of minutes because it's going so freaking long. So, thanks for the questions. And the next one will be in September at the end when I do it on the Xbox 360. And let's hope that Microsoft gets their act together and actually sends me my system. So, thanks. Have fun watching my content whenever it may be. Probably tomorrow for a gaming update.